National Vice Chairman of the Patriotic League of Uganda, Chairman Kaguta, and his leaders. We welcome you, sir, and we thank you for your unwavering support and commitment.
Thank you very much. We may all take our seats.
Is appointing his teams in several sub-regions of the country. And we believe from that, we shall constitute a national congress, and then we shall decide whether we can go on with elections in the period. But as of now, we don't have any structures.
That's General Mugaba, the majority of us that strongly believe in, the majority of us that pray and wish at the right time we shall cross the bridge and you have to join the political arena to do the second liberation. Why? He being the first son, he had all the luxuries that the majority of us dream about having. He chose to join the military, go through harsh, tough, rough training. I hear of some funny stories that being the first son is, when it comes to international military academies like Sandhurst, they don't want to know that you're a son of a small president in Africa. No one knows you. No one will give you. When the colonialists came here, they used the policy of divide and rule to get what they wanted. They wanted because they know it's easier to divide people and you turn them against each other. Even in the election of 2021, we saw it. Along these sectarian lines, sectarian tendencies, all in the name of someone wanting to occupy a particular political office. We must stay Ugandans. We are Ugandans first. These are the things, I always call them small things. What brings us together, what binds us together, we are Ugandans. We must develop that spirit. That's the reason as why I get disappointed sometimes when you see a young lady or gentleman being attacked during broad daylight on the street and people are passing by as if it's business as usual. This future. Here, it's a combination of several things because the majority also have our own specific challenges. Unemployment. When there is an advert that has been printed behind the backs, this process, it's an act to show that the due processes were followed. Can we get appointments? Can we get jobs? Can we have space to roam freely, exploit and realize our true potential without any hindrances anywhere because of our current political establishment or policy makers or these petty small selfish interests? So as PLU, we shall address that. And some steps are already being taken. And it's important, the way of saying, we are here for the launch. Moving forward, there is a comprehensive work plan. There is a comprehensive work plan to ensure that each one of you gets integrated. Each one of you benefits. Each one of you is treated equally before any government establishment or law. No one is above any other. Let the competencies, our qualifications, our skills, our level of professionalism, dedication, commitment to the cause be the determining factors. Not these are unite, exploit the expertise, the knowledge we have, the professionalism, of your social class or region or tribe. So the onus is on you and me. The vision bearers say it's high time we took charge. It's high time. So it's your decision, it's my decision. If we influence it and we have it be achieved. One, there has to be respect for each other. We must not entertain impunity. I give credit to General Micheal, so the others should behave. And interestingly, the majority of them doing that are small people in this government. The ones that are highly pressed, they don't. Total reality, it should be part and parcel of our DNA. If you expatriate whatever profit we make, and are ready bring by the rule book whereby pick our proposals, return policy paperwork, they go back to their countries and implement them.
By a gentleman on this panel is a lady, prominent lady, has done studies, she's a land fellow, by that I mean she's a lawyer. Allow me welcome Counsel Jackie Namuyonga of the High Court. She also serves as a leader in the Patriotic League. A round of applause for her. You're welcome. On the panel, and we shall see them front and represent the ladies. Maxon Mubezi. Maxon, he has served as the former NRM Guild President's candidate, from Micheal University, writer with New Vision, Daily Monitor, and the Observer panel. Allow me request you for the last time.
And you are the elders into politics. Because if you don't do, if you allow the ranker or the poor quality, you'll get poor results. So I want to encourage you to take the bull by its own. Don't say, as your professionals, this is not our field, because all of you, all of us, want service delivery, we want systems that work, and we want prosperity. So it is very, very important that you sow in good soil and reap quality results. To vote. And let me also say this, at the beginning we had, and then some of us were saying, no, let's first engage the person in the market, the border rider, all these people, especially in the informal sector. Then we shall come when we have gotten a foothold in the people who make the biggest part of the populace. Then we can now come back to the elite, and I'm glad we are back to you for you to shape the narrative. Because you are the strategists, you are the planners, and you are people who shape the narrative. So we are not ignoring you as PLU, but we wanted to first get the other person, because the elite at times even they don't vote.
Uganda has the highest young population. I think of the recent analysis, we 78% young people. We have the numbers of professionals in Uganda. That is a strength. We have the numbers. We have the high energy. We have the passion to work. And we are innovative. I know men here in different capacities, different professionals. You are innovative from your profession. I know majority of the youth after graduating will have what to do immediately. That is one of the weaknesses or the challenge. Another challenge we have, we the young people, we are not positioned. If you are to look at the cabinet, the ministers, you may find 3% of youth in the cabinet. We lack money, or we don't have that starting capital as the young people, or the youth, the professionals. Many people have graduated, but they lack capital to start up something. It's one of our weaknesses. We have a lack of representation. However much we have different positions for the youth, for example, the youth MPs, the youth councillors, but if you are to look at the cooperation of the young people, we are not well represented. I appreciate the government of Uganda that they have tried to put up different programs for the young people to start up different as professionals. That's what you can start up. I think that is a weakness. And our needs is support us, mental support, more health services, and more job.
Or lack of capital, less representations, and challenges that are in line with mental health. And I do believe that each professional here or each youth here, in one way or the other, relates to these various challenges, and we shall be waiting from you to hear what more you have to say about them and how you need to be supported.
At this plan to be here, and you came through. So thank you very much for honoring the invitation of the organizers, and thank you to my colleagues and my senior Ambassador Katunji and my colleagues for taking out the time, and of course the presenter of the initial presenter, Council Bani. The question referred to me is largely to do with patriotism. To do with the values of PLU. PLU has one of the most objective values. Like Ambassador Katunji has, yet far from the NRM. But we're just choosing to say, let us do things a little different. But one of the most important, I'll maybe say them out loud. One of them is discipline, patriotism, transparency, accountability, honesty, and most importantly, the fight against corruption and good service delivery. Now, I'll tackle one by one. And the first two and the last one to me are the most critical, especially to us as professionals. The first value is discipline. We're not going to sit here and convince ourselves that you're going to be patriotic, you're going to love your country, that you're going to be prosperous and do good in anything if you cannot practice discipline. What exactly are we referring to? This is devoted to something good and you're going against its principles and its values. You cannot wake up and choose to say you're a parent and you cannot be a good parent. That speaks a lot about your personal and social discipline as a person. You cannot wake up and say that you're yearning to make the money as a professional, and yet you cannot honor an oath that you made when you're being upheld as a professional. Do we have doctors here? Do we have doctors in the house? I'm sure you have an oath of allegiance you committed to. Do we have lawyers in the house? The day you're called to the bar, you made a covenant to yourself and to the judicial service. Engineers, the same. I'm reminded and remind you that these are professionals we're doing it. You have a commitment to whatever it is you're doing, and the only way you can handle that is when you are disciplined. So as PLU, we are saying, discipline, forgive me, I'm dwelling a lot at the professional side, but discipline is key in everything that you ought to do. And if you cannot mentor yourself to do anything, in a disciplined manner, you're heading nowhere. No matter how ambitious you will be, it begins with self-discipline. Even in PLU, we have a disciplinary committee, and its job or its responsibility is to check its members. Are they still in line? So to me, one of the most important, and to me the most important, is actually not patriotism, it is discipline. Let me just say, how many of you can take a bullet for your country? He's the fountain of honor, ladies and gentlemen. Ideal. Can we now redefine patriotism? Me, personally, it begins with you. I need you and me to love yourself enough to be able to love your country. The only way you're going to practice the principles, if you can open your phones, each one of you, just Google and say definition of patriotism. It won't go far from love, commitment for your country, devotion, vigorous support, and loyalty for your country. But the question is tonight, are you willing to devote yourself to your country? And the only way you can defend your country first is being able to commit to those values that uphold our country high. Are we together tonight? All of you are professionals here. You've flipped a few books. I'm sure most of you are graduates, if not all of you. You understand what we mean by transparency, honesty, and accountability. As PLU, we don't play when it comes to those three: transparency, honesty, and accountability. Allow me to dwell largely on the sixth one, which is fight against corruption. The chairman of the Patriotic League of Uganda, General Kaguta, has come out very, very strongly on this. Like Ambassador Katunji, my senior, has said, we are members of the NRM, but we are choosing to say, let us continue the good work of His Excellency the President. Let us do something a little more. And it begins with you and me. The issue of corruption in this country has eaten the core, has eaten people, has eaten this country to the bone marrow. And here, people placing the blame on His Excellency the President, government young 7, government young 7. I have not seen the President being blamed anywhere for dipping his hands in government coffers. It is you, me, your mother, your father, your uncle, your brother, and your sister that is doing this. And if we do not do something about it as PLU, as young professionals in this country, it is going to root to our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. Is that the president we want as professionals? All in the name of connection. Am I right? Connection has a lot to do with the word corruption. Because if you're not connected, do you have access to what you're going to collect? So, I'm sure I'm speaking to the right audience. The professionals that are rooting to drain government enterprises, government corporations, government agencies, and businesses. If we do not stand out and join forces and join hands with General Kaguta, the chairman of PLU, and fight corruption, it begins with you and me. It is a very core principle and value of PLU. The corruption today has rooted so much to our houses. The three most important, which is discipline, patriotism, and fight against corruption and service delivery, are very core values of PLU. The three, which is transparency, accountability, and honesty, are core to all of us here as well, because we are professionals. There is no institution you're going to walk into and work and expect not to be in line with those three. We are rooted and we are objective, and we thank you for choosing to join us as a professional forum. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for the great. Now, one of the things that caught my attention when she was speaking were the various values, but also in relation to the status quo in the East African region and in the East African community. Some say it is a call of patriotism and love for their nation. They call it standing on the rock of values that should be held in a country. Over to you.
Thank you very much.
And kindly, let's keep it a bit brief. We're getting caught up by time. Thank you.
Thank you. For me, Belinda, even if I don't speak, because when I entered in the room and I saw constant, deliberate, intentional faces, common faces that I've interacted with for a long period of time in these particular spaces. Even if I don't speak, when I turn right and left, I see Amaya, I see you fulfill it or betray it. Now, as I've read, the previous generations had contributed to Uganda's transformation. You can call it independence. Others collaborated with colonials to bring coloniality in Uganda. Others established the enclave economy. Others chased away the colonials. Now, a young generation went to the bush because of so many issues, but they identified their generational cause as demystifying the gun. The gun was a problem. There are so many issues. People talk about economy, but the major issue was insecurity. Those of you who follow the histories of the country, you know how the Udo Chen's motion, the one of Kabaka Yeka, introduced the gun. Corruption I've been talking about the land question. All of you follow what is happening. You hear Apa, Karamoja, Kasese question, the Uganda question. You have issues of diseases when you go to Bravo and you see how many people are agitated on issues of cancer and others. It is a generational question. When you look at East African or African integration, it is one of the serious issues that the young people are facing. And therefore, looking at the chronological order of all those issues, ladies and gentlemen, it is not possible that you and I can suffer from what we call apathy, or we have no interest whatsoever in what is happening in the country. Okay? If we don't take interest in what is happening in our country, and also offer ourselves in responding to those societal prerequisites, then we end up having what we call baby kings, or people who are not even experienced to run a particular classroom, or even to lead bats. They take charge of the country, and what happens? They sell the country, and what we resort to is what's up. That's why it is because we have refused deliberately to participate in politics and take interest in politics such that we can put things right. I'm so much happy that I am speaking to professionals. It means you know what to do in the economic sphere, you know what to do in the political sphere, you know what to do in the administrative sphere, and also in the political sphere, the social sphere, okay? If we don't then offer yourself, because you say politics is a dirty game, if you don't, people will come and clean it for you. Then after you start complaining. Ladies and gentlemen, as I finish, like I said, I don't want to take long. I request all of us to pick a lot of interest in our politics, but also offer ourselves for elective positions from the local level up to the national level.
As I conclude, I almost want to say that, you see, Africa existed long before these fair new neoliberal tendencies came to be. I mean, we existed here without democracy. Devolution of power. This is a very recent phenomenon. We existed here without respect for all sorts of human rights. And now we are seeing rights for sexual minorities all over, and even media freedom. Now, I'm very sure that everyone here will say, he went for the forum and he brought us a guy, putting on specs, and he was saying is that, you see, how does the historical background that I have shared relate to youth leadership and civil engagement today? You see, this system, the system that was inherited by this establishment, is the same system that your founding fathers of Uganda inherited. The UPC, the DP, the KY, all building class interests. So, it is the same system that wreaked havoc in this country in much of the 70s and the 80s. It is the same system that you young people are going to inherit, unless you change it. This is why it is important. So, but the good news is clearly that I'm now here. I mean, I can be classified among those that have been sitting on the fence, waiting to see whether or not these people actually, you see, have ideas. Yes, patriotism is good, being anti-corruption crusaders is good, but what else does PLU have to offer? And it is good that we are starting this discussion today. Now,
$72 million in 2022, $283 million. So when we are talking to these guys, please give them these facts. This is because of our two presidents, but more of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. Challenging role of our time. If the historical mission of NRA was to liberate Uganda, our historical mission should be the integration of East Africa. So professionals, youth of Uganda should be really engaged. Instead of spending a lot of time talking about other things, let's spend a lot of time talking about the integration of East Africa. Thank you.
You all talked about the issue of unemployment. But I would like to a bit deviate from that and talk about the young people, the professionals who are already in the job sector. As PLU, today we are talking about the professionals. What does PLU have to offer for the young people who are already, for instance, engaged in government jobs? Most of the young people that are being taken up by government are being given peanuts. I don't know when, among the PLU leadership, we know that there is that young professional who has a degree but is being paid 186,000. What do we have to say about that? I mean, should the discussions always continue having the narrative that young people are unemployed, or young people need to step up, and yet even those that have decided to step up are being given peanuts? Thank you very much.
Personal wealth to touch. Why do you think if I'm going to go back to my village and I'm going to look for bodies, I'll choose to go back to the village and not to first? We've engaged the youth, we've tried to engage the women, we engaged the informal sector. Recently we had a full tournament where we had borders, we had taxis, welders, kids. But why do you think we have not reached out to lawyers, engineers? Not because we don't want, but possibly we have to first strategize and see how we can evolve. But yes, we have intentions of reaching out to everyone. We just have to first discipline ourselves and make up our mind and choose how, when, and where to participate in national issues. And I want to charge you tonight. I want us to charge ourselves tonight with this. that you should not leave this room empty-handed. You leave here with a decision to start something. The reason why we are complaining that decisions are made, poor decisions are made, is not because decisions are made. Who is making these decisions? Why not you and me?
We're going to have an interlude from someone who has prepared a poem to present. You're most welcome. The floor is open to you.
Tonight, that as professionals in this country, we are very passive. We are very mild, we are very passive, we are very, what I can call, laid back when it comes to issues of national importance. It is only in this country that the professionals choose to stay back. Elections, they don't take part. I'm sure even in the recent counting of statistics, people were in offices, most of them were not counted. One of my neighbors who left instructions, the neighbor said, please register me that I've been counted. These are professionals. They are less getting interested in issues of governance in this country. So tonight we are calling out, we are reminding ourselves that we are playing a key role as youth professionals in this country. We are playing a key role and we are calling them out that come and take charge of our country. You don't have to do it like our neighbors in Kenya have done. No. For us, we are doing it in a professional, in a respectful way. We are sitting and deliberating and saying, what can we do? What can we change? What can we do better?
It's actually going out of this way to implement it. Because if you don't do that,
see, we had the Democratic Party in this country. It had what we call the U-wide. Up to now, some of the cream de la cream of this country are going through U-wide. So if we are to have a government which is going to actually serve longer, inherit, take over and serve longer, and explain to these young people what patriotism means, what do people who are patriotic do for their country, then we shall counteract the propaganda and this misinformation from the alternative shadow governments or the opposition, who are actually getting out of their way to create their own leagues to misinform. A lot of young people here who have gone to academies, who have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. How about we go out there to the villages, the sub-counties, and we explain the real intentions of PLU, that it is to safeguard the revolution and do the right continuity. Ask that of our principal from the PLU, because if we learn the rightful politics of the country, we also indulge in a lot of service delivery, and those who did go to school are in production for money that is given to them by the government. You can all these other programs that I've explained, then we won't have a problem. By the way,
Understood your point of industrial action without violence. What we're experiencing right now is graduates who are in survival mode, but we need to transfer them to progress mode. We are talking about issues that youth are experiencing, such as taxes, but I think we have other different issues that we are experiencing, and that is a lack of professionalism. He said that we have our literacy levels low, but we have our professionalism levels high. I wanted to request, how are we able to find spaces that allow different professionals to learn skills in different professions? You said you're an engineer, but you're very passionate about leadership. I'm a scientist, but I'm very passionate about communication. That's why I did not, after graduating, I did not move towards a scientific job that was paying me a lot of money, and I went to do an internship at a media company. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to create opportunities for professionals who are passionate in skills that they did not acquire while in school.
To attend this special gathering, because first of all, there are many great minds outside there, but because of lack of opportunities to express themselves, they end up joining bad people. Because I was imagining the number that I found here, if at all we were brought up by the wrong people, what would we be doing to this country? So a big applause to the principal for PLU. Kindly join me and you clap for them. Thank you so much. Now back to my question. You talked about fair taxation. I for one am working for URA. And one way of making Uganda's economy independent is to collect the extreme point that would make Uganda independent. And secondly, you reduce the dependence onto loans from outside and maybe grants. So my question is, we have a dilemma as URA. Our concern is to make the economy of Uganda independent, but at the same time, citizens of Uganda, especially youth, would want to have fair taxation. So how fair should the taxation be? Which strategies would you employ so that we can have a fair taxation?
You know, when you have your eggs in a basket, you can only discuss if they will hatch. It is unreasonable to discuss if the chicks from those eggs will be white or black. Your prayer is if the chicks, rather the eggs, would hatch the chicks. So this is analogous to a situation where PLU is in power. I want you to put it to context. So our prayer is that the egg can become the chick, and all the white and black chicks will be seen out of the set of eggs that will hatch. If you have a set of chicks, you can easily identify the chick that will grow into the cock, the big cock, the manga, the Uganda. So our PLU is very intentional. If you have been following up the issues in the nation, to engage, and that is why you see the majority of the young people from all over the nation are here. This is a platform of engagement. To begin with, and therefore, everyone will be exposed. The Muganda says, so if you have, what do we call a kata in the English? Something you can put on your head to absorb the pain of the Lord. Then you can put anything, even a stone, but at least carry something.
Thank you. Being totally, it's never easy to come here. Joy and the team.
Also request her, since she's a medical winner of every one of us here, to kindly and gracefully welcome the chief guest to speak to her.
Yeah, that was brought up by this very hardworking, beautiful team to agree to bring the youth professionals on board under PLU, because we are patriotic youth who want to be involved in matters of national importance and national growth. That the youth have been sublimed and left out on matters of national importance, leadership, growth, decision making, and this is what we have embraced as the youth of this generation under PLU to come together to give a service and skills to grow together with PLU to the coming generation. Mr. Chairman, before you are 37 different professions and from different regions of this country. They have all come willingly, not under any coercion. Thank you so much again. Some of us, the youth, have political ambitions that we want to realize, but we have not been given a platform to realize those ambitions. We ask that as a patron, we take this information to the national chairperson, General Micheal, that we are ready to support him, that we are a team ready to embrace leadership and to grow, and we are as patriotic as the team and values are. This team has worked for a long time. From the start of the idea, they have built the idea up to this stage. We have a work plan that we nation. And to my fellow youth, I'd like to tell you that this is our time and we are going to achieve what we intend to achieve under PLU. The team that already is in PLU for coming in a guest of honor today. And I would like you to know and take the good news that the youth are embracing this and are ready to be a part of you. Without wasting time, I would like to request you, Mr. Chairman.
Hold on. Thank you, Joy. He's the director of the celebration, so we invite the chairman.
Thank you.
Proceed, James.
I'd like to invite the state member, Mr. Katunji, Ambassador Katunji, to come and invite the rest of them.
Can we have a round of
We have got a good future that's today. I want to thank you members for turning up with big numbers today. That shows that you are committed to not only to read this count, but you have your count. Before my speech, that she has achieved something, or what it means to her, just two people. So you can pick one.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Chairperson. Clearly, well, from what I've seen, what I've heard, I have listened to great minds and I have picked very useful information that the youth can use to develop themselves, to engage the public, and to also build the country, Uganda. As we are, of course, we have very many challenges, but we seek for solutions here and there. We seek for great minds to guide us in decisions that we make in society. That's why we have the vigor to join the Patriotic League of Uganda Youth Forum, so that we build the Uganda we need tomorrow. The Uganda we want. We want a Uganda free from corruption. We want a Uganda free from all the problems that we have faced since 1962. We have faced very many challenges as the youth since until now. But we need a Uganda for tomorrow. We need a Uganda, a peaceful Uganda, the Uganda which is set for the church, and which the church is as the youth.
My name is Anu, from Uganda. Today's discussion are quite being provocative, and I have lessons that I'm going to really share with my peers out there that I've picked from today. To begin with, as a young person, what I've picked is that PLU is offering a platform for young people to engage in constructive dialogue. And by engaging in constructive dialogue, I mean that this is a platform that young people have to engage government as a key stakeholder on issues of unemployment, on issues of wage increment, and most especially youth inclusion in politics and the economic development of our country. Thank you very much.
We lack unprepared leaders. We just get leaders who are not prepared. So today we are starting a journey of preparing leaders. I believe in youth. I believe in creativity. I believe in engagements. Such engagements, you're supposed to learn something, at least speak something that you can take home. We need to change this business of brain game. We know how to blame others. It's a game. And we call ourselves professionals. We are professionals, but we bring others. Immense pressure and pride that I stand before you today as the launch of the opportunity of Uganda's profession in this forum. This event marks significant milestone in our journey towards nurturing a generation of young Ugandans who are not only aware of the challenges we face as a nation, but also equipped and inspired to be the change makers of tomorrow. Today, as we gather here, I feel with optimism. In this room, we have leaders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and metropolitans of our beloved country. Each one of you holds within you the potential to transform Uganda into beacon of progress and prosperity. Each one of you can become a music star, engineer, businessman, and political leader. It is inspiring to me that I'm standing in front of you today and saying, let us hold hands and walk into our future. Our nation is at crossroads. We have the opportunity to harness the energy, creativity, and passion of our people to move our country forward. However, this will not happen automatically. It requires commitment, dedication, patience, immunity, shared vision, discipline, and deep love for our country. It will require us to unite despite our various walks of life, and it will require us to rally behind the same cause. The patriotic king of Uganda believes that you, the youth, are the key to unlocking this potential. Firstly, let us recognize the power of education. Education is not merely a means to an end. It is a foundation upon which you can build a better future. Especially thank His Excellency the President for having the vision of PLE, USU, USE, and university scholarships. It empowers us to see politically, innovate, and challenge the status quo. You to embrace education and to strive for excellence in your endeavors. Remember, education is not confined to the four walls of a classroom. It is a lifelong journey. Most of you here have degrees, but you are not practicing in the fields of your degrees. Most of you here excel academically, but are lacking in the lessons that the streets can teach. I urge you, all of you, to self-educate, to seek outbooks, mentors, online programs that can improve your knowledge. Means the opportunities that this may bring to you as we are skilling the youth and enabling them with knowledge is grateful, and therefore we will actively pursue programs that ensure the youth are well educated and outside of the classroom. Secondly, let us invest in the spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation. Uganda is a land rich in resources and opportunities. Our agriculture, tourism, technology, and creative industries are beaming with potential. It is up to you to seize these opportunities, to create, to innovate, and to build enterprises that will not only uplift your lives, but also contribute to the growth of our economy. Do not be afraid to take risks, to fail, and to try again. The path to success is often paved with failures, but it is the resilience to rise after each fall that defines true success. Let's week ago, in consistency, creative, and enterprising, Uganda invented the chapati knowledge. Uganda invented a whole industry of film translators. That is why we have VJ Junior or VJ Jimo. And others have come after them today. This spirit goes beyond entertainment. Think of food companies created by Ugandans. They allow students home. This is evidence of our entrepreneurial spirit. We must keep this flame burning. I stand in front of you to tell you that we are committing time, money, resources, and government access to boost and grow business, entrepreneurs, and creatives in this country. Thirdly, let us not forget the importance of civic engagement and the patriotism as young Ugandans. You have a duty to be active participants in the democratic process of our nation. Your voice matters, whether it is through working, community service, or advocacy. You have the power to influence positive change. Let us work together to build a society that is inclusive, just, and equitable. Let us stand against corruption, injustice, and discrimination. Let us be the generation that upholds the values of integrity, accountability, and respect for all. The cities are our cities. Uganda is the power of Buffalo, and it is our power. We must love it, we must protect it. You cannot plant in a garden that you poison. So we must fertilize the love of our country so that we can terminate progress and harvest success. Each one should teach one so that we develop a community of strength. Together we cannot take Uganda into an era that is on the backs of those that came before us. It's hope to reach the advancement of our strengths lies in our of our cultures, languages, and traditions. Let us celebrate this diversity and use it as a source of strength. Together, we can overcome any challenge that comes our way. Let's support one another, learn from each other, and work hand in hand to achieve our own goals. As we embark on this journey together, remember that you are not alone. The Patriotic Hero of Uganda is here to support you, to guide you, and provide you with the resources and opportunities you need to succeed. We are committed to fostering an environment where young people can thrive, where their voices are heard, and where their dreams can become a reality. I want to leave you with and your abilities. Dream big and work tirelessly to achieve those dreams. Be the change you wish to see in the world. And above all, never lose sight of the fact that you are the future of Uganda. Our problem is not about employment, it's about confidence. We don't believe in ourselves. You're lucky that you went to school. There are those who never went to school, but they can make it to life. So, guys, you should start the confidence of believing in yourselves. Don't wait for the government to employ you. I myself, I went to school, but I have never been employed by the government. I started my own journey. And don't think it was easy to have time. I will talk about myself from 70 up to today. It has not been easy for me. You have education, you have good environment. For us, sometimes We could not believe that we shall be there in 90s, because the 80s was the time it was hard for us. So we should not start this business of blaming each other if you have a chance. You have all the opportunities. For us, we shall be there to guide. And we also want your guidance as professionals. Actually, when we started with the organizers, I just guided them and they started something bigger than what they expected. I thank you so much. It was very simple for me to work with the directors. I call them the directors. Because some of us, where we went to school, it was not easy. But we maneuvered up to today, where we are now. And we appreciate every country.
In this, we are going to request you, Mr. Vice Chairman, for group photo analysts. Thank you to the committee members, but our chair lady, kindly take your seat. Let's have the panelists join our group.
Lero tubadde tulina omukolo ogulauncinga youth professionals abasalawo okujoininga PLU bye bagamba bo ba youth professionals ba Patriotic League of Uganda. Tubadde tubalaunchinga leero, kibadde kikulu nnyo okulaba nga professionals bavuddeyo ne bagamba baagala kuyigiriza bali kubanga bo they are professionals basobola okukola emirimu nga bajja mu kusoma kwe basoma. So tubadde tulaunchinga ate nga mbadde mbakunga mbagamba bayigirize ne bato baabwe era n'abalala batanaba kujoininga. Guno omugendo gwe tulimu okulaba ng'omuntu asobola okuyiiya neyeteerawo kyasobola okukola kubanga bakusomeseza free education PLE USE university scholarships nga bwe mbadde mbagamba. Bw'ovuddeyo ate n'ogamba mbu gavumenti tekuwadde mulimu. No, tubeere bayiiyi tweyiiye tulabe nga tusobola okuteekawo embeera omuntu asobola okuba nga abeerawo mu butebenkevu olw'okuba alina amagezi gavumenti emuwadde environment ey'okukola kyayagala kyonna. So gwe kiri ku gwe okulaba ng'osobola okweyiiya nga tolinze nti gavumenti ekwemploying kati emirimu enaagijjawa. Education yaffe abantu bonna basomye youth tuli 75%. Emirimu bwe giba nga teginaba kulabika naye olina knowledge gikozese olabe ng'osobola okubeerawo.
Izina ganje nibanyeta Joyce ekigongo ekitwatandikaho ni PLU Youth Professionals Forum ekiri kugwita professionals boona ab'eminyeeto abali omu PLU kwija kwejumbira omu by'obutegeki n'omu bwombeki ihanga eri. Amazina nibanyeta Joyce ekigombe ekitwatandikaho erizooba ni PLU Youth Professionals Forum ekiri kugwita aba professionals boona ab'eminyeeto tukaza kureeba twashanga eminyeeto ereebukirweho etari kuriba involved omu kwebembera ihanga eri omu kuba patriotic twareeba mu kyetenzesa bareeta on board. twerekyerire kukorana na gavumenti nakukora n'abebembezi biitu n'okutunga training ya patriotism kwenda twejumbireyo omu butegeki ihanga eri omu position zitari zimwe na zimwe ez'obutegeki
nga bengeginga nnyo mu bikolwa ebyo ebyokusanga nga bali mu kwonoona bali mu kukuba abantu bonoona ebizimbe. Ekyo tekikuyamba gwe sobola okweyiiza ekikyo lwaki ogenda mu ebyo ebikolwa by'ekiko ekyo ate ng'osomye bano abasomye nabo basomesa abalala. Erizooba twatulyo ntutongoza itaagi lyaitu ly'eminyeeto esomere yibakweta professional abaine basomere twantutongoza erizooba abo tutekateka ngo nibo bebembezi ba nyenchakare nibo bari kuza kutwara ihange ryo mu misho nyenchakare. So nyenda kubasimo kureba ngo baragayo bagira ngo neto twino gukora na PRU kureba ngo twayitekatekera nyenchakare kureba ngo ihange twari umisho. Neto nyenda kubashaba ngo nk'iki kimwareba mwena mutemwa amana ganyu nosomere notashomere abo kubaba n'abantu abo kubasa kuja gukora imirimo abo kuba beine amagezi bashomere byo gukora. So nyenda abatsigaza umwena iminyeto yona ukureba ngo twaza omu Patriotic League youth wing rero kubatwara ihanga ryona oboshomere obano no wakubori wa chapati ntkweta ngo professional abo ko niyo kumaya kugikora wenga